remember that CLARO would have had the financial backing. So it's not like they didn't have the money to compete. I just think that there's probably a lot of it's the same way how when in Jamaica they try to bring in something like they try to bring in, God damn it, McDonald's.
Oh, that was like a very short time. I barely remember
McDonald's. It was a very short time,
McDonald's.
but one of the reasons why that didn't hold up is that for some reason, I don't know what kind of chemist they have over by KFC, but seriously, whatever they put in that chicken had people hooked.
You're on.
Alright. Well, here's my thing. I'm always of the notion that that utility companies that we have right here in Jamaica, in particular both Water Commission and JPS, it would be wonderful they had some competition. Because if they did, they would not get away with half of the stuff that they carry on with. That's just me.
Well, that's not a lie. Because really and truly, we don't have any alternative to switch over to. Like, say for instance, like the mobile network. So if Digital PC Africa can always switch over to Flow and vice versa. If Water Commission,
Then keep you on your toes when you have
if
competition.
JPS PC Africa, what are you going to do? Go without light? You have two options: buy solar panels, which is expensive at the moment, or go without light.
Yeah, kerosene lamp option.
You do have that, but what about persons that need to work from home? What they're going to do? Plug in their computer analog and then light a fire on it?
The other factor is that even though you have solar panels or solar power,
yes,
people, what they do is they set up JPS as their secondary, as their backup power in case something happens.
Exactly.
You know, it's full of power. It's like your phone battery. It's only going to be there based on its power supply, and if it's dead, you can't charge. So, I'm serious. If you guys realize, I don't know if you're getting this in your ear, but like for me, you know, I'm always getting these messages from like NWC, for example, that they're having problems with their dams and
where it's rainfalling now.
50%. Right. It's just madness. I'm like, you know a drought. You know when the drought season is every year in Jamaica.
Yeah.
People have been around for God knows how long, how many decades. And you meet a time that you've never put anything in place to plan for a drought like this. You're always, we only have 50% in our dams this month. That to say, I'm like, what is that to say? You should prepare for this.
And then the
If
opposite.
you know the month before, you should pump extra water for the month on the drought season.
Are the dams overflow now with the recent heavy rain?
Yes, they're talking about turbidity levels. A lot of their posts, if you look on their social media, is saying due to turbidity levels, yada 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 yada, they shut off the water supply, and you're going to be without water until further notice. They'll keep you posted. So you have it both ends when you have drought season and wet season.
That's bull, because they do have facilities to accommodate everything, but because there's no financial incentives, because they really and truly they are a monopoly, and because they are a monopoly, because there's no financial incentive to do so, they don't do it.
Well, not really the finances. I don't really think it's that. It's just that it wouldn't be immediate for them. I think that's what they're looking at. I wouldn't say they wouldn't make any money if they actually went ahead and invested and, made proper infrastructure. But right now, it's better for them to not do much rather than try to invest in the long run. Because let's be honest, if they have a problem, they're going to take their merry time and tell you, we have this turbidity problem, this damn problem. The moment you miss a bill, JPS for instance, I've seen this myself, the moment you don't pay a bill or you have a balance brought forward, they don't call you to ask why they paid. They send somebody cut off your light.
They send somebody, you didn't send somebody face. They just cut it off from their office.
Right. It depends on what kind of community you are. You have some communities that actually have to send somebody, but you have automated inference where you can do it right from office, but still, they
As
don't.
as me hear you say somebody send somebody. There are certain communities they can't send somebody. Because then community they're bad. You can't go near them community. Hey.
No, but a lot of those bad communities are stealing lives.
Yeah.
So what's not going there?
Exactly. And who pays for that?
Us.
Taxpayers.
Us, the taxpayers. The people who are actually paying bills. I look on the bill, I'm like, why is it so high? I didn't use it much stuff.
Exactly.
And then they're like, over what, 100 and so. So I'm like, what?
And I can't understand why we can't resolve this issue. I mean, look at other countries that are having far worse issues with water and light. Look at Israel, for Christ's sake. They are in a desert and they are one of the best water countries in the world, right? If we just take 10% of the practices that they're doing and implement it in Jamaica, we would have water for days. Simple as that. We have countries again in desert, Saudi Arabia, that uses more electricity than most countries around the world.
But
yes, they have gas. I understand that, but most of their electricity come from resources. Like the Middle East, especially the UAE, they win themselves off of gas. So most of their electricity is coming from renewable resources, and they manage it effectively, right?
They have to, because if you look at even a place like Dubai, when you come to the fact that they have to create, because you know that Dubai is like the new hotspot now in the world as it relates to development. When you look at the fact that they've created man-made islands, and they've created skyscrapers, people don't realize that the amount of investment that they're doing is not just in infrastructure, but also in renewable energy. I've said it already. Jamaica is one of the hottest places in the world. Like, it's the most sun hot. Why are we not utilizing the fact that this very thing that can give us a sunstroke, probably kill us, why are we not using it for energy?
Because it's expensive.
No, I don't think that's the reason, though. I think, honestly, one of the main reasons is that... Okay, I don't want to sound like I'm speculating, but I honestly believe that this is a possibility. I believe that it's better for them to use the excuse that they're importing oil, and by extent they have to use US dollars to import that oil, that they have the excuse again to hike up the price and say, oh, this is a process we have to go through, so of course we have to be compensated for services and yada yada yada.
Oh, they do use that excuse. I have a story.
Yeah.
And
you know what I found funny though? I heard one time on a radio station, somebody called in, and I couldn't believe it. It turns out that somebody said that one of the reasons also why the bills are so high, and this is from somebody who said that they work within the, I believe it's within JFM. One of the reasons why is because they have to compensate the bill based on persons who are sitting in certain communities. And I'm saying, so that doesn't make any sense.
what was that one? Repeat that last part. It went low.
The person said that the reason why a lot of the bills seem to be high based on the communities, meaning it's not an actual meter reading, it's an average bill based on the usage of that community. The person posited that the reason for that is that maybe persons are stealing the light. So to meet their overhead, they just do an average bill and just send it to everybody in the community. They basically have the good suffering for the bad.
I remember that is roughly 20%, if I remember correctly, hearing that about 20% of the bill accounts for those who are not paying bill.
That's not even a theory. That's actually what they said. They honestly said that they're not going to stand the loss.
Yeah, I remember when the OUR investigated.
That's what I'm saying. That's more complete. They said that. So I'm like, what the rationale behind that is a bit skewed. Because you know that they're stealing, but yet still you want us who are actually doing the proper thing to pay for the negligence and disobedient actions of other people. That doesn't sound right.
You know what the government should do? What honestly should do? Every house that is being built should be built with a built-in solar panel and wind turbine.
Wouldn't be, well, true, but it wouldn't stop people from stealing.
No. People will still steal light, But what will happen is that will just cut the energy.
It's not a matter of cutting the energy levels. They know how to do it.
You have to look at it from an economic example. Like I said, they use the excuse that they have to purchase stuff in US, so they hike up their prices. You know the old saying, all barons think renewable energy is foolish, not because it's not practical, but because it allows people to not use their services instead. That is the such. Just like how you have a pharmaceutical company. They give you the same diabetic pill. Same exact pill. It's just a bit more expensive. So they use marketing to convince you that this pill is the best pill.
Yep.
That's just not true.
So
Earlier said you had a story about the light bill.
Oh yes, I got as you may have noticed, since COVID, light bill has increased dramatically. And
Lord.
and you can probably say, yeah, you start working from home, so
the bus fare can compensate for the light bill.
yeah, you understand the peak. Now, our story now, we had a desktop working for the first part of COVID, for the first 2-3 months. And we saw like what was it, $3,000, $4,000 per light bill?
Yeah, 3,000.
Both $3,000 increase. So, hell, yes. The first month, April, May, there was a $3,000 increase. So, you know what? We see that for the next couple of months, we say, we have to switch it out. So, we switch out the desktop for a laptop. So, you think, say, desktop plug in for 10 hours for the day, you switch it out for a laptop or plug in for 1-2 hours. You just see a decrease in your bill, right? How much decrease in that thing can I see in one bill? Tell me, just take a guess.
$1.
Really? I'm thinking like $2,000 must cut down because again you're using a laptop. It's permanently plugged in.
I really don't think that's where this story is going.
Oh no.
I know it's not going there, but rationally speaking, that's where it should go. But anyway, carry on.
No, so we're looking for the bill and saying, yay, we finally get it cut down. When we look, another $1,000 gone by the bill.
Whoa!
I'm like, how? So you know who called JPS to cost them backside? Sorry, can I say that?
Yes.
All right. So you know who called for cost them? They're telling
I
me
could
no.
hear the poor customer care rep crying on the line when she was done with them.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
No, don't do me so bad. Their excuse was the same one Mikhail mentioned. The gas, sorry, what was it? What is the gas? Petroleum Jamaica? Petrojam? Petrojam increase, such and such. So they had to compensate. Hold on, me have a question. Can I ask a question or two? They had to compensate.
That's just to keep you calm and
Hold on.
to stop complaining.
They had to compensate me. I tell you what the people didn't tell me. They had to compensate for those rates along with the what do you call it? The foreign exchange, right? Cool. So I asked a question, which I think I just mentioned a while ago, Leah. Why it didn't decrease when oil prices went down? Petrojam never decreased it, so then couldn't decrease it. So I'm like, this was actually what they told me when we asked, and I'm like,
hold up, and don't forget, Petrojam came on the paper, in the newspaper, stating that it's not their fault why JP is increasing their light prices. In fact, them decided to try to find a cheaper alternative to sell to JPs, since JPs are complaining about the prices. The CEO of Petrojam came up and said it is not their fault the light prices are going up. In fact, in order to resolve the issue, we're going to look for a cheaper alternative to sell to them.
so a lot of name blaming going on. So everybody just threw everybody under the bus at this point. So everybody pretty much know at this point. So we are getting robbed, but we can't do nothing. Petitions have been sent out. People have complained, but there is no. Oh, you are investigated. Alleged.
No. Don't say who you are. No. I refuse. No. The OUR is supposed to be the governing body that oversees all utilities in Jamaica. Yet still, the OUR has a JPS and NWC account. Something like that should not happen. That's like an
Keyword should not, but it is.
No, it shouldn't happen. That's like an auditor working for the company that they're auditing. That makes no sense.
I mean,
That's a
the
conflict of
government.
interest.
You do understand that the government do have stocks. The Jamaican government do own portion of JPS and Water Commission. So any profits they make, the government also make. So it's basically ridiculous because they are not going to do anything to hinder their profits because they're in their paychecks doing so. Which is...
Remember, the JPS is basically a part of the government's own business and their own affairs. So, of course,
which is
they're not going to stop that from making money.
Which is bull. This is shit. This is why everyone that's listening, please sign up for Leo Sunshine, the new solar power company coming out. 2021. We're gonna fight this together.
You're right. You know, so the monopoly, you can't touch that.
No, there's ways they can go around it. Something. Can look upon Australia. Let's use Australia for example, right? Their energy bill was getting so ridiculous. Their energy bill was what 150% more than their household income.
Damn.
Right? What happened was Elon Musk brought in some power state batteries that now serve the entirety of Australia cities. Right? They run on solar panels, and what happened is there's a software called the Automator that takes most of the energy when it's not used, store it in the batteries, and when it's needed, it sends it back out to the communities. And this keeps their bill at a much lower rate, right? The government run this also, right? The government was able to circumcise their overpriced utility and bring in something cheaper that a company was able to utilize, right? Now, if the Jamaican government just sit down and say, hey, let's look into this, you know, in all honesty, if the Jamaican economy has more money to spend on commercial goods, we can tax those commercial goods a bit more and generate more tax revenues and, you know, increase Jamaica's gross domestic product.
Be careful you use the word tax. People hear the word tax and start get afraid.
No, but everything is already taxed. We are taxed by our life, we are taxed by the water. Everything that we do is taxed. It doesn't matter, we're going to be taxed some form or fashion. Might as well tax us in something that we actually want to use or something we actually want to pay for.
A company like the Jamaica Public Service or the National Commission, they know they are the only supplier for these things. And they know that they will always be the supply of these things.
Well, not actually. Let me interject for a second, if you don't mind. JPS had a 90-year contract with the government, which should end in 2050.
That's so helpful. If we're alive so long.
Once that ended, other utility companies can come in.
You know why I'm laughing though is the fact that here, Leo doesn't remember the fact that that's how Muscle Jamaica started out.
What are you referring to? The air rights?
The rights, right.
Mm-hmm. So these are corporate rights where they purchase so them can operate within the country without competition or operate within the country.
Indefinitely?
Well, I'm not sure if it's indefinitely. I'm not sure what procedure they do. I do believe that it has to be renewed, but it's not like you renew every year. There's a time period where it gets renewed.
We're not sure.
Okay.
I'm not certain.
If we have somebody like JPS now, we have to wait until 2050. Do you think that these guys are actually going to be renewed or what? What's your take on that?
Well,
if we live long enough.
I think somebody probably just waiting for the opportunity. As soon as 2049 come in, you see other places. Hold on, 2049 come in, you see other places just rushing to come in. But I think JPS might, put themselves in a way to say, all right, we done suck them dry, and they can try and get what left outside, or them find a way for all the people love sweet, or they sell and lime love sweet way up after them do it bad. Yeah, they might do that too and say, oh, they've done this and that for you for the last 90 years and blah, blah, blah. Or, the last 3 years, even up to the end of the contract, them kind of put in a sweet deal.
We gave you.
Mm-hmm. So
But I don't think they'd wait that long, because if you notice we have one in a country already, why would you sit down and wait until the contract is made to be up before you step in? When you can't already reap the benefits when it's earlier?
Well, I think CLARO tried that.
CLARO free nights.
Stop that.
Sorry. I can't sing that song into my
Should I
head.
say CLARO attempted that, but we all know how that went. So
You see, we're talking about the telecommunication sector. I don't think Flow did a good job of trying to compete with Digicel, because they're basically just as bad now.
I'm sorry, I had to use that.
Oh,
Cable and wireless.
Oh, gosh.
Point of interjection. Have you realized their ads? With their ads, they're not trying to see how they are better. They're just basically making fun of Digicel.
They say they're the
It's
largest.
a parody, yeah.
It's a parody.
It's become a parody now. The other network.
So if
Yeah.
if they did have something of substantial and
They might
quality,
try to be a CLARO, but they can't get CLARO level, because it's CLARO, they have the ads and the what you call it, power or the service to back it up.
financial
I think the
backing.
reason why
Yeah.
CLARO,
And
I think the
infrastructure.
reason why CLARO kind of lost their footing is that, because remember, CLARO would have had the financial backing, so it's not like they didn't have the money to compete. I just think that there's probably a lot of, it's the same way how when in Jamaica they try to bring in something like, they try to bring in, God damn it, McDonald's.
Oh, that was like a very short time. I barely
It
remember
was a very short time,
McDonald's.
but one of the reasons why that didn't hold up is that for some reason, I don't know what kind of chemist they have over by KFC, but seriously, whatever they put in that chicken had people hooked.
No, Mama learn my lesson. If you see, and it is true, I heard it before, then say, if you see, probably I don't want KFC, but the one time I go foreign and I have KFC, the first thing I look, I'm going to say, why is this KFC so empty? That should have been my first sign. 1. 2, lad. 2, pair Chinese up at the front, and 1 black person run at the back.
You're speaking too fast. That's
I'm
why
sorry.
you're mixing up. Slow down.
Yes. 2, Chinese people at the front. I'm like, fine, it's a diverse neighborhood, not bad. I was so happy to get that bucket of KFC because the chicken there and they look big. So carry on the KFC. I'm like, why this looks so?
Hormones.
Make sure I take the picture and send go give you, okay, it look like some people chicken. I'm like, probably just look different.
Slow down.
No.
Pronunciate.
It upset me. Come here, I want KFC. I'm going to go KFC and see some big piece of chicken. And then if have that taste bad something in my mouth, I'm like, no, me understand why my auntie years ago, when she come to Jamaica, make sure she buy up her KFC chicken and pack in her suitcase, go up there.
Goddamn, woman, it's chicken. Calm down.